I beat Risk of Rain on Monsoon difficulty with all the artifacts enabled. For the sake of morality, I must highly discourage you from attempting this yourself.
Oh shit, here we go again.
Let me make myself crystal clear before we begin. This video was stolen, inspired by Alfredosteel's guide to beat Risk of Rain 2 with all the artifacts. I highly recommend you watch this video before this one. Seriously, pause and go watch this first, because it's a fantastic video. And it's also better than mine. Okay? Cool. Time for the obligatory artifact breakdown. Honor. Every monster is scary and colored. Kin. There's only one monster type per stage. Distortion. Every minute a random ability in your arsenal is disabled. Glass. Enigma. Get a random equipment that changes every time you use it. Sacrifice. Monsters drop items, but they're no longer chests. Command. You choose your items. Spirit. When you are a monster at low health, you become Sonic the Hedgehog. Origin. Every 10 minutes, an imp overlord shows up to notify you that your free trial to life has expired. Prestige. There's at least one Shrine of the Mountain per stage, and its effect is permanent. Dissonance. Monsters appear outside of their usual environments. Tempest. Items are worth 3 stacks, but are temporary. Cognition. When you kill a monster, it comes back Dio style.
Alright, these artifacts are pretty great. What's the next one?
Not all the artifacts are as impactful as the others, so let's just break down the important ones. Glass is possibly the most influential of the set. You carry immense power that's so immense God himself will fear you. However, it means that the spite bombs, and everything else for that matter, can semi-consistently one-shot you. In fact, if you get hit, you'll know immediately because one of two things will happen. One, the game will make this noise, or two, you're dead. Because the way Kin interacts with Honor, it means that all but a few enemy types will rarely spawn, which is bad when taking into account that your items are dropped by the monsters. And not only this, the game is incredibly stingy with item drops because Sacrifice is the worst artifact ever. Oh yeah, let's not forget that your items are on a timer, meaning that this problem is even worse and scaling your power is nigh impossible. Even if you somehow manage to scrape by, it probably won't matter anyway by minute 10. Because of Spirit, if you shoot something and it doesn't die, you are already dead. Even if you manage to kill it before it careens towards you like a runaway freight train, you'll have to start the whole process again as it's still alive after death. Thankfully without their elite aspects, but still just as dangerous. Putting all the artifacts together is a toxic combination of god-awful anti-synergies, leading to most runs looking something like this. Spawn in. Wander around until you find the Shrine of the Mountain. Hit the Shrine of the Mountain. Narrowly escape death as you look at the teleporter. Actually find it. Hit the teleporter. Be totally unequipped to deal with the monsters even if you have the good equipment. And then die until you can take no more. Even if you do make it to stage 2, you will likely be outscaled by the monsters, meaning that in order to win in normal circumstances, you have to have Minecraft speedrunner luck to even get to stage 3 and beyond. So how do you even win this? Well, there is a way to tailor the artifacts in your favor, so much so that if you pull it off, you can become more powerful than a 5-loop character by stage 2. So, here's the sauce, as they say. On the character select, I highly suggest selecting Bandit, as he has 2 long-range offensive options and a means of crowd control and a way to escape from danger. So even if one of your skills get locked down, you'll have plenty of options to attack or defend. If not, just choose a survivor that's coming to you. Unlike Risk of Rain 2, there is merit to putting it on Monsoon beyond making the journey even more painful. Because in this game, the legendary drop chance is increased significantly on higher difficulties. This will be important later. Once you're done with that, you're going to begin the challenge. And then immediately go back to the main menu. Unless you are lucky as shit and got Children, Claymen, or Lumerians as the monster. This run will not work with any other monster, because these 3 are the exception to the rule. Every other monster in the game rarely spawns because Honor and Kin as stated before, except these guys. They will swarm you, which is critical for this challenge as it means more loot. Once you get these as the monsters of the stage, make haste and head for the teleporter. Once you're there, you're going to want to hang around that spot and farm for items. It's ideal that you stand somewhere surrounded by pitfalls, so that it's hard for the monsters to swarm you. The first white item you pick up is going to be Topaz Brooch, as it will essentially double your health every time you kill an enemy. After that, you're going to stack Hermit Scarves. They act as this game's version of Tougher Times. Stack them until you feel comfortable. For me personally, I feel comfortable around 200. After that, just get Paul's Goat Hoof, Soldier Syringes, and Glasses, and you're golden. You can stack anything else after that. I usually stack Fireworks for shits and giggles. The first green item you pick up is Guardian Heart, as it will instantly give you 180 health and shielding. I recommend grabbing at least 2 of them before selecting any other green items, as this will allow you to actually get hit and not die. The next and most important item you pick up is 56 Leaf Clover. Every time you kill an elite, it will give you a small chance to get an item. Considering that every monster is elite, it will increase the monster item drop rate. This also works against the ghosts, as they are technically elites, so they will drop items when they die. Stacking these are your main priority, as once you get to around 50, it will basically give you a guaranteed item drop. This single-handedly saved the run from being god-awful. Any other greed item after this is kinda erroneous. Yet again, stack whatever you want. If you were lucky as shit and got a red item before you have a guaranteed item drop chance, get the ceremonial daggers, as this will make cleaning up the scallywags really easy. If you have a guaranteed item drop, on kill, get the laser turbine. Do I have to explain myself? You saw the intro. This item makes clearing the teleporter monsters, well, instant. This also allows you to hit Providence and other enemies from outside your range. Some important things to keep in mind during this challenge. Do not stand next to walls, because the spike bombs will explode immediately upon hitting a wall. And if you think, well, the enemy's on the other side of the screen, keep in mind that the bombs have a much farther reach than you think. Do not grab more than one shrine of the mountain, as this will lead to an increased likelihood of the game crashing, especially if you decide to loop. There are already enough enemies to give you plenty of loot. In your settings, I would suggest decreasing the zoom, so avoiding enemies and navigating the stage is easier. I would also recommend lowering the graphical fidelity to lower the chance of a crash. During the run, you will get these little artifact items that decrease your equipment cooldown. By the end of stage 1, you will have hundreds, so if you hold down the equipment activation button, this happens. I would advise against doing this once again to avoid the game crashing. If you're about to lose an item, say you're about to get down to 1 Guardian Heart, don't be afraid to stop stacking your current item and grab the one you need. This challenge requires patience, and your patience will pay off. And that's kind of it for the challenge. Unlike Risk of Rain 2, this challenge isn't nearly as complex and dynamic as that one. The run is essentially just farming on stage 1. However, I think it makes up for it by being way less luck-based than 2. All you gotta do is get the right monster and you did it. 2, on the other hand, makes you want to commit seppuku. If you decide to try this challenge, I have one last trick for you. If you use the whip as bandit, and then get 50 soldier syringes, hold down mouse 1 and 2. Then this will happen.
What if we just help him out? He's right here.
No, close the door.
However, will we solve this?
Ah! No, 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 no.
The lights are on in this room, by the way.
Oh God, no. Freddy, please. Freddy, please.
Okay,
He's gonna jump scare you.
just kidding.
You won. Just kidding.